Today is Thursday, May 30. It's a few minutes after 8 a.m. Eastern. But we'll come back to this chart after the market closes this evening and analyze the trades taken in the E-minis based off the levels here in the spiders. Thanks, and see you then. Well, today was one of those days that I like to call a heartbreaker. Several heartbreakers, not because I lost money, I actually made money. There was one good trade, but there could have been four. And it's just the way the spiders came into the levels. They hit four levels, as you can see. And I want to explain a couple things before we jump into the recording of the day. So to do that, I adjusted the levels with a 5-cent buffer as the spiders came into them, just to show you a few things. So after 9:45 a.m., they came down, and I just bought at 524.16, just because I had a few reasons. But the point is, felt pretty good about this level. As you can see, they played around this one level almost all day. So long or short, you would have had a trade. But anyway, buying here popped up and made 4 points pretty quickly with two contracts. But they got up to, so this candle here, what time was it? It was 10:09. The high is 524.82. So the way they just fell away really fast after becoming within a few cents of this level, that to me satisfied this level, because generally I'm not going to take the trade again or trade that level again, because that was the trade. And you know how I like to take trades the first time they are hit. So at this point, trade there, that was the trade. I just wasn't in it. And then they came back down and they got to this other level here. So adjusted with the 5-cent buffer is 523.29. The low of this one was 523.37, right within my window. And they pulled up very quickly within 2 minutes to give a base hit, or would have given a base hit. And I called that one. So called that one satisfied. And anyway, so unfortunately, missed it. Yes, it worked. You could have taken these trades, like, say, no matter what, when the spiders hit him, just buy and or sell, depends on how it came into it, and wait for 4 points. And every single one of these levels would have worked today, without even giving you any time or reason to sweat fumble threshold. But anyway, and then something else happened up here, and I even thought, I kind of feel like I want to start selling here. I even identified an area here. I don't know if it's on the chart or not, but I had analyzed this on another chart, looking at something developing, and thought, well, if they come up here, they could spike above this, because this was the level that was formula derived. But I was looking at a zone up here, and they came up short and pulled away, and I kind of regret not taking that. I'll show you why I think this was the high. And then at the very end of the day, they came down. Just perfect trade here. Had you taken it, I didn't, because it was after 3:30. It's just one of my rules. The low was 521.35, penny below this. And you might not know this, but I'll just going to tell you now. When I have a zone, I don't really adjust the levels, because anywhere in here is valid. I would buy the top, the middle, the low. Depends on how price is acting when they come into the zone. But anyway, that was a very good level. And let's look at the recording so we can see how this played out. So you can see the time, 9:35. I'm waiting until after 9:45 before I do anything. And so they were hanging around the 524.16, and bought at the level. And they came back down into it after 9:45. You'll see that I just bought two contracts. And meanwhile, I'm looking up at the next level, 524.92, and I just put a limit order on the chart, because I felt really good about selling there. I was kind of maybe even salivating a little bit. I wanted to sell 4 contracts if they got up into this area, and then maybe take 3 off at a base hit, or maybe 5 points or so, and trail down more, because I had a feeling they were going to drop if they got up to that level. They did. I was not in the trade because it was a near miss. So here I'm long 2. Just explain what's happening here. Looking for a base hit. And so the only reason you see the $800 here is, like, that's what you would have if I 2 were sold up here, but that's just to go short at 4. This would already have been satisfied by the time they hit this profit objective, which they did. Didn't take very long with the 2 contracts. Let's give that a few minutes so you can watch that transpire. There we go. So there's the first trade. And now looking at this 524.92. I think at some point I actually just got rid of this limit order on the chart and actually keyed it in so it would sell exactly when the spiders hit 524.92. But as you'll see, soon. They came up close and pulled away very fast, and I consider that the trade. Not here. I think it was the next one. Just scrub ahead. I'm not sure how long it took. Right there. So there's the adjusted level. And when they pulled away that fast, you see I changed the line to dotted. That indicates, that's my indication that I'm not going to touch that level again because that was a trade. And sure enough, they fell down pretty hard. And 523.29, same thing. I had an order keyed into the system, and they came up too close and pulled away. And when that happens, I call that the trade. So, if you had waited and say you just didn't really know all the nuances of the rules that I like to play by, because this to me, it's just more conservative. But like I said earlier, if you just waited for the spiders to hit these levels and then jumped in with the E-minis, you would have been rewarded, including that last trade at the very end of the day. We'll just scrub ahead here. To the end of the day, I had to close up shop around 3 o'clock, and it was after 3 o'clock, as you know, when they came in the top of that zone at the very bottom. So when they got above 524.87 and waiting for them to get up to 525.63, and I was going to sell again up here, I'll show you in a little while why I believe this was the area that they were gunning for, and once they hit that and they fell away from there and never looked back. For the day, it's just, I missed it. So nothing more to see here, really. We'll just go back to the full day one more time, because I want to show you something here where this trend line came from. So this trend line is where they bounced from and fell away right before they got to my level here. And I kind of noticed this a little bit too late. Honestly, wasn't really looking the right things, but it's just pretty simple. If you kind of zoom out here, I noticed that I had this line here on another chart. The high of this back here on the closing 15-minute candle or 5-minute candle of May 28th. Another little kind of it dropped it from here, and I just wanted to see what would happen because this is kind of the zone I was looking at. But they came up to the bottom of this and fell away. So after the fact, it's kind of obvious that that was probably the reason that they didn't get any higher than that. Anyway, one trade. I'm curious if anyone who had the numbers, anyone who stumbles across these videos in the morning that I post the numbers, you have them and you're welcome to use them. If anyone traded them today, I'm curious to know if you're making money. I have had a little bit of feedback, and I appreciate the feedback. So today, there's no reason you couldn't have made money today. Let's look at the log, and I'll show you how that looks. Once again, there is no difference between the playing by the rules log and what I did, because I did play by the rules, and that's why I didn't get any more than just the one trade. But base hit happened early on, and the other ones weren't triggered because they were near misses, except for the last one, which wasn't triggered because it was after 3:30 p.m. That's the way I like to play it, although that was a beautiful trade, or could have been if someone tried it. So you just want to take a look at the averages and the percentages where they stand based on the two logs. There you go. 4 points for the day. I'm not complaining. I'll take the $400 about 2 contracts. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something. Could have been a little bit better day. 4 levels were hit, but not 4 trades taken. But you'll have days like that sometimes. I prefer to play that way and be better to be safe than sorry, because a lot of times when they pull up close and pull away and kind of give the trade without giving the trade, and they come back to the level, then it doesn't work the second time. Today was just a little bit of an exception. And maybe tomorrow morning, kind of go into kind of where they're at. I'll give the pre-market time to develop a little bit, because tomorrow's the last day of the week, and they, where they've closed today actually is kind of important. Don't want to get into it now because I need to kind of cut this short and go somewhere. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.